Today I bring to you guys perhaps the most anticipated video on my channel, and that is an updated luxury handbag collection. I haven't done one, I think, for almost 2 years, and I know some luxury YouTubers out there will make one year on year, but to be honest, there hadn't really been that much of a material change to my handbag collection until this year. So we have 19 bags to quickly go through. I know for some people it's not like a huge, vast collection. I've seen people who have 40 or 50 designer handbags, but honestly, for one person to even have 19 handbags, let alone the myriad of shoes and other ready to wear, I feel like that is more than enough, some of which I wear all the time, some of which I haven't touched really at all. But just to quickly mention in terms of where the bags currently are, because as you can tell, it's a very plain background, and I think some of you who've watched for quite some time may be used to the beautiful bag wall that was behind me for some time. I've since moved houses, and so unfortunately for me, at this current point in time, that bag unit does not fit in my current space. However, I still have it, so I'm just fingers crossed for the next move at least that it will fit in. So currently what I have is an interim solution. IKEA comes to save the day, just a throwaway solution where I can display my bags. It's actually above me, you can't actually see it, but I will show cutaways and things of what the display looks like. So let's start at the top of the alphabet with my bag, starting with A. It is none other than Alexander McQueen, and I have this gorgeous mock snake skin leather clutch bag with the iconic skull knuckle duster here. It is a thing of beauty. Alexander McQueen sure does know how to make a good statement clutch. It was one of my earliest designer handbag purchases that was, you know, towards the higher tier of brand. Inside is super simple, as with all Alexander McQueen clutches. As you can tell from the size, it doesn't fit an awful lot. It can barely fit a small iPhone, let alone my bigger iPhone. On occasion when I've worn this bag, had to give my phone or other important pieces like my wallet, etc., to someone else to hold it. I don't reach for it that much anymore because limited times where it's kind of evening wear or kind of black tie event, but certainly if I have a special occasion, dinner or something, I will whip this one out. Now let's move on to the letter C, of which I think a lot of you will gather is for predominantly Chanel, of which I've just counted and I have 9 Chanel bags. So let's start off the Chanel collection by talking about the first handbag that I got from the brand, and this is a vintage Chanel. This was given to me very kindly by my mother, one of the first designer bags also that I got into my collection, and for something that is 25 years old and is basically vintage, it looks pretty good. I mean, it's a very simple bag. It almost looks a little bit heart-shaped, and I will say actually I think it was my mother that actually got me into this luxury addiction, and indeed Chanel, because the resulting 8 bags I'm going to show you, it got to have come from somewhere, right? Now onto the next Chanel bag chronologically that I got, and I think a lot of you will be expecting me to show up the Chanel black patent boy bag in new medium. However, I've actually sold that bag. Now, I know a few of you may be surprised because that was the first Chanel handbag that I had bought. However, I have had my gripes with it over the years, and not to go into it in this video because I have made a separate video on it on this channel, but I honestly didn't wear the bag that much. There was a few niggles that I had with the bag, not to mention the crazy wear and tear because it was a patent leather bag. So the fact that I managed to sell it, kudos to the woman who bought it. And I know a lot of you may be thinking out there, Mel, do you have regrets about it since it was your first Chanel bag that you bought? But I actually don't have any regrets. First reason being that the first Chanel bag that I actually got was the one given to me by my mum, which is way more sentimental, and I would never ever sell that. But second of all, my mum also has a very similar boy bag. It's literally in the same size, same everything, apart from the fact that it's ruthenium hardware and it's caviar leather, which is way more durable than the patent leather. So all things considered, it's just not a big issue for me to have sold that. So let me move on then to the next bag in my collection chronologically, and that is this very cute Chanel mini in the rectangular flap, and you can see it's in this beautiful crumpled calf skin, and it's got this oil slick look. It may come off a little bit purpley in this lighting, but it's like a pink purple. I've always got this little fur baby here, which matches almost identically in terms of color. It's super cute. This one is a purchase that I made, I think maybe 6 or so years ago. Boy, does time fly. And it's almost in impeccable condition. Super versatile. It can go crossbody, on the shoulder. You could even do a moment where I kind of tuck the chains in and you can make it handheld. That's something that I, again, will never part with, especially given the price point that I paid for it at the time. I think it was like 1,900 or something. So when could you ever find nowadays a Chanel bag under £2,000? And I also think they've stopped making the Chanel Mini in the calf skins or goat skins, so the more durable of the leathers. I think they've now turned to lambskin, which is just a flat out no-no for me. Now onto the next bag that I have from Chanel, and it is another cute one. It is this really gorgeous Chanel Business Affinity, and it's in this great dove grey colour. It's in also the medium size, and it's got champagne hardware. And as you can see, I've put this very adorable Dior Mitzvah scarf over top, and it has M because I love to personalize top handles. You'll see that in the next bag that I show you as well, and I think it's absolutely adorable. I think it's such a very classy but cute bag, and it's one of the new classics that Chanel has launched. And this bag I got about 4 years ago or 5 years ago. So you've got great compartments, zipper compartments, zips inside, and also the big pocket on the back, which can actually fit a bigger iPhone, I believe, which is awesome. You've also got a longer strap so that you can wear it crossbody and on the shoulder. A really popular bag that I always get a lot of questions on, that and the next bag that I'm just about to show you. And the bag in question is none other than the Chanel Coco handle, and this is in the medium size as well. And you can see it's in this beige chevron design with silver hardware. And I also have another Dior Mitzvah scarf on top with the M. I just love collecting them. This bag is also one that I think I may have gotten in the same year as the Business Affinity. For the size of the bag, I think it's even bigger in terms of capacity than the Jumbo Classic Flap, but it's a fraction of the price. It's kept its shape beautifully despite so much constant wear. At one point it was my work bag, but when I'd go traveling I'd also wear this bag because it can just fit so much stuff. It can fit a normal size bottle of water as well on the base, which is awesome. Such a godsend. Again, it's a new classic, and I think it's always worth investing in a new classic, especially with the crazy price increases. And you know, if you were picking either this or the trendy CC, which I appreciate quite similar, I would hands down pick this one. This one is more durable in terms of the materials, so it's calfskin, whereas the trendy CC is lambskin only, I believe. This one comes in so many different sizes where I feel like the trendy CC doesn't, and this one also doesn't have a very gaudy and in some cases obnoxious bar on the top that says Chanel, whereas the trendy CC does. And another really great thing about this bag is that converse to the Business Affinity, which has a crossbody strap but is not detachable, this one is detachable, so you can also replace it with a strap of your own, which I have done on some occasions as well. I have a Samorga bag strap actually that goes really nicely over it, a pearl bag strap, and of course you can remove it entirely and just have a crook of the arm moment. It's just really nice. All right, now we're on to Chanel bag number 5, and this is taking way longer than I thought, and this is actually a seasonal bag as well, but I don't think it has a specific name like the other ones before did. So this one I guess is just like a gold pearl shoulder bag. I love the pearl detailing. It's my only bag really with the iconic Chanel pearl, and it's pretty simple. It almost looks like a wallet on chain. It's got like the smallest pockets and slips in the back there to store the essentials and nothing more, but at least it can fit a phone. And you know, for a night out, for an evening out, this is perfect. This is pretty much what I use it for. I think I bought this last year actually, peak of lockdown as well, might I add. So I bought this one remotely via Harrods concierge shopping service, and it looks pretty much like a classic flap, but without the classic flap price tags. Let's segue now into said classic flaps, of which I actually have, if you count the reissue, 1, 2, 3, 4 classic flaps. So this is Chanel bag number 6, I think, and this is a beautiful Tiffany blue or Tiffany green, depending on how you look at it. Chanel medium classic flap, and it's got beautiful chevron as well, and it's in calfskin. All of my bags are calfskin. And this one I actually got last year actually for my birthday time, and I wear this one so much. I think out of all my Chanel bags, this one has to be nearer to the top in terms of wearing it lately. And I even find myself dressing according to this bag because I just want to wear it so much. I always get compliments on it because it's so distinctive and so unique, and I think so rare as well. I've even had comments from other Chanel sales associates that have asked where I got this from because it was so sought after. And actually, out of my classic flaps, this is one of the more durable ones. It hasn't seen significant wear, and in the medium size it actually fits a decent amount as well. Let's talk about the next bag that came into my collection, and that is the Chanel reissue, or the 2.55, and this is in the jumbo size, so the large size. It's a beautiful peachy chevron bag, and it's got this gold hardware as well. And while I love the outside color so much, and this beautiful peach and neutral goes absolutely everything, I also love the inside color a lot, because actually this is my first bag with dual tone coloring. And as you can see here, we have the peach, but also the stunning navy blue here. This one actually was bought in Greece. This one was a tax-free purchase, as were most of my other seasonal bags as well. I think it's a really nice modern take on the reissue, which personally I felt like in the usual designs in the black with the burgundy lining, I thought that was a little bit dated and too mature for me, to be quite honest. But as you can see, all the classic bags that I do have are very fun in colour. But what I would say is that the quality varies a lot in these classic bags. As you can see, that there's some corner wear here, which I just honestly don't know how that happened, because on some of the other classic bags I have, no issues at all. But I think you've just got to be very careful, and sometimes it's the luck of the draw really with the bag that you have. Now let's move on to the penultimate bag, and that is a classic flap again, but it's in a size I didn't yet have, and it's this very cute mint green classic flap in the small size. And I believe I got this one last year, I think for Christmas, and I also reached for this bag an awful lot. It goes with a surprising amount of stuff, and it's even got this kind of pearlescent finish to it. I don't think it's officially a pearly bag, but you can see it's got a great shine to it. It's actually completely mint green throughout in terms of the lining. And you know, although the double flap can be annoying for a bag of this small size, ultimately it does fit the essentials, and that's all I really need. And I do love the versatility and the ways to wear it. It's such a cute little double strap over the shoulder bag. And now we're on to the final bag that I have from Chanel, and it is my most recent purchase, my very beloved navy blue Chanel classic flap in the medium size, which I feel like is the size I get on the best with. It looks great on my frame and also fits a lot of stuff. This is something that I got maybe like 3 months ago at this stage for my birthday. It is by far my most expensive handbag to date. I mean, I just love the colour so much. They didn't have it in any other bags, and I thought it would be a nice heirloom piece as well, and I'd probably be able to wear this till I am old and grey. I feel like for everyday use this is also a really good option, and I think this is a bit more formal and elegant than some of the more pops of colour that I have. Alright, so now that we're done with Chanel, let's actually move on to the other bag that I have in this category that starts with a C, and it's from Chloe, and that is the Chloe Faye bag, and this is in the mock croc leather in this beautiful burgundy. Now this is a bag that I must say, of the bags that I'm like, would I consider thrifting that? This one is a definite yes. That doesn't mean to say that I haven't had a blast using it over the years. I bought this as one of my earlier designer handbags as well, probably my most expensive at the time. That was a time where the Chloe Faye bags, or just Chloe bags in general, were a real smash hit. In terms of wear and tear, as you can see, there is a bit of wear here where the buckle goes on top and obviously has contact with it a lot, but this one by far, in terms of just overall durability and wear and tear, looks way better than the ones that I've seen with the suede bottom. So this one is fully leather and also fully leather lined inside. It's got very deflated air paper inside this bag, and as you can see, it's kind of that concertina harmonica design as well, so you can fit a ton of stuff. And it also means that it packs very, very flat. And so this was a joy to bring on travels abroad where, you know, you can only bring hand luggage. But over the years, I mean, I didn't really reach for this. I have so many other bags in my collection that I reach way more frequently. They're more versatile. This one can only be worn over the shoulder, really. But when it's fully concertinaed and out, it looks incredibly big and bulky. Parting ways with it is probably the most sensible thing, albeit will make me an incredible loss because these do not resell well at all. But you know, I got the use out of it that I wanted, and it's in a gorgeous color, and I'll probably buy a bag in the future with this color, but just from a different brand and in a style that I wear a lot more. Now moving swiftly on, I would usually at this point say the letter D, and I'd bring out the Dolce & Gabbana clutch bag that I had, but alas, I have sold that bag too because I just didn't really use it an awful lot. I already had so many dresses in that Majolica print that I just didn't want to blend completely in, like Italian kitchen camouflage, you know, and I just thought it was a little bit fiddly in terms of the lock mechanism, and I also have a lot of other wallet on chains size bags. So I'll move on to the next letter in the alphabet that I have a bag from, and that's G, and that is none other than the iconic Givenchy Antigona, and I believe this is in the small size, if you can honestly believe that this is small. As you can see, it's a very shiny patent leather. It's way more durable, by the way, and water, scratch resistant, all the rest of it, than the Chanel boy bag I had in patent. And I've even gotten pen marks out of this before, so I'm very impressed with the quality. Being a neutral bag, it goes with basically any outfit and makes an outfit look very put together. And the inside storage is incredible. I mean, it just fits so much. I've got a lot of junk in there, as you can see already, and a really nice chunky zip. It also has a really nice shoulder strap, albeit I wish it was a little bit longer because it's a little bit squishy, but I actually got this for a really good price, so I don't mind so much about some of the niggles I have with it, namely the strap and also being a tad heavy, if I'm being quite honest with you. This I actually got from Bicester Village. It's, I think, my only outlet bag purchase in my collection. Granted, you don't see it that much lately, but I still think it's a worthy consideration, especially if you don't want to go into like Chanel pricing territory. Next up on the list, we have bags starting with L, and I'm sure a lot of you can imagine that the first bags that I have to show you anyway are from none other than Louis Vuitton. The one that I have in my hands is the iconic Louis Vuitton Keep All Bandoulière in size 45 in the monogram Eclipse. I've had this one for quite some time as well, maybe like 4 years or something like that. Bought this at Heathrow. It is made of canvas on the outer, and I believe there are leather details here. The inner, however, is, I think, microfiber. Yep. Currently it's stuffed with air paper. I've got a bag insert inside from Samorga just to help provide a bit of shape and organization, and it also has one zip pocket as well, which I realized some of the other original monogram peoples don't have, which is, I feel like, a basic requirement for bags to have pockets. And I think it looks very elegant for a travel bag. I know some people use this for like a bougie gym bag. I'm not that kind of girl. I don't want to get mugged, but for travel this is great. Though, to be honest, it's one of those awkward sizes which it almost fits too much to be a work bag, but not enough to be a travel bag for more than 2 days. But overall, I think this is a really good bag from Louis Vuitton. I feel like Louis Vuitton is priced pretty well in terms of the luxury brands, and you can get ones that are a little bit less gaudy in terms of the monogram, like I do have here. You also have nice things where you can do hot stamping on your luggage tag. You've also got the bandoulière strap, which is adjustable, which is a nice detail. And you know, they come in so many varieties of sizes, colorways and materials that there's bound to be something that works for you. Anyways, let's move on to the only other Louis Vuitton bag that I do have in my collection, and that is my trusty Louis Vuitton on the go tote in size GM. It's the biggest size that it comes in, and actually, I'll show you the other way because it has a nice Dior star on it as well, which I use to embellish the bag. And this honestly is probably my most used bag out of all of them, because this is my everyday kind of work bag, and it's predominantly because it fits a laptop, and it also has a bunch of options to wear it. So you've got the top handles here, you've got 2 additional handles here, not to mention that you can also have the option of attaching your own handle on the front as well. And I also think it's a really safe and secure option for a work bag because it does have a D-ring fastening here. I like the Neverfull, for example, which I know a lot of other people gravitate towards, and it's also a really popular bag. I love the design. The print is stunning and unique, and it's super elegant while having like a little bit something interesting, so it doesn't look super dated and mature. Now let's move on to the other handbag that I have, beginning with L, and this is a brand that I think is quite niche, and for those of you in the UK, maybe you've heard of it, but it is this rather cute Lulu Guinness tote bag, and the straps I've just tucked in here, but you can see with the air paper in the way, I'll just push that down, that it's a very cute top handle bag. Lulu Guinness herself is a British designer, so you can see here it's an homage to British heritage. You've got a mixture of fabric where you can get all of these beautiful intricate pictures on here, as well as a mixture of pattern. And I love also that there's details like the wheels which actually turn, and you can even see a really cute post box bulldog, and it was given to me by my mum, so this was quite a nice little gift and foray into my luxury journey those many years ago. I think it's probably like 9 or 10 years ago at this stage, so it was one of my earliest designer handbags. I feel like Lulu Guinness is like the perfect cute starter designer bag, or just a little something fun in your collection really. Now moving swiftly on to the bags, beginning with M, of which I have 2 bags. So I'll start off with a designer actually that some of you again may not have necessarily heard of, and this one's a German designer, quite a niche designer too, and that is Marina Hermannseder. This is an actual custom bag that I got from her, and this is a Hello Kitty backpack. I think she released a few of these bags maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, but they actually had a very bright pink bag strap here. I decided to custom it to be pale pink like the rest of the details, and I'm so glad I did because I think it looks way nicer. And this was actually a crazy purchase, not only because of the fact that I am an adult woman, but also because of the price that I paid for it. It was, I think in euros, like 900 euros or like 850 British pounds. It does fit a surprising amount. It actually fits, I think, a 13-inch laptop. It also has an inbuilt pocket, a pocket here as well, but it doesn't really open that well. I think the handmade nature of this meant that it was a very snug fit. And also this fastening is a little bit fiddly because, as you can see, it moves with the bag, but overall super cute. And when I've been to places like South Korea and Hong Kong, I always get compliments, namely from kids, I realise, but I feel pretty smug about it. But in between those occasions, you know, I haven't really reached for this bag because it's Hello Kitty and I'm, again, a grown adult woman. But I do think it's a bit of fun. Now on to another bag that I have, starting with M, and it is, I guess, a more well-known brand, and that is MCM. This is the Stark backpack in the black monogram, and it's in this small size, and it's super cute. I think my mum got this for me when she was in Korea. It's a nice travel bag, especially when you're out and about doing sightseeing. I think this is the perfect amount to fit, you know, your waters, your essentials, even a camera as well. A DSLR fits comfortably in there. Super rugged and durable, scratch resistant, tons of organization in terms of the pockets. If you're wanting a designer bag that is not super flashy or super designer, I think MCM's a really good option, and it even gives brands like Louis Vuitton with the monograms a run for its money for a fraction of the price. I don't really wear it an awful lot these days because to wear a backpack that isn't necessarily a work bag that can fit a laptop or something, it's kind of that in-between awkward size. But I know they make other sizes, so if you are looking for a nice bag that's kind of good for the price and great quality, I would suggest MCM. Next up, we're going to move to letter P, and I just have one bag from that brand, and that is Prada, and it is probably one of the most highly requested item that I sell, and it is the Prada Kahir bag in the beautiful astrology print, and you've got it in this beautiful velvet with gold hardware. I've used it quite a significant amount. It is a piece of art. It looks like a book, given the name Cahier, like book in French. The fastening is super unique with the gold bar, you know, the astrology print, again, really unique. And the inside, you know, it's pretty simple and basic, so it doesn't fit an awful lot. But actually, you know, for a wallet on chain, evening bag, it does enough to fit the essentials. And you've also got a removable bag strap here so that you can wear it also as a cute clutch, which I think is my favorite way to wear it. So this bag was one that I got, I think in Harrods or something, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago at this stage, and I have no regrets. Even if I don't go on many evening events anymore, I still will never sell this bag. And now finally we are on to the final bag number 19, I guess, in my handbag collection, and it begins with the letter S, and that is Saint Laurent. And this is the iconic Saint Laurent Lulu bag in the, I think, small size, and it's obviously in this kind of off-white with the chevron detail. And I got this maybe 2 or 3 years ago at the stage because I wanted a bag that was fuss-free in comparison to the likes of the Chanel, the more high-ticket bags. And despite it being a very bright white bag, it is held up surprisingly well. There is literally no color transfer or anything. This one is pretty much almost immaculate from, at some points in time, like almost daily use. I feel like it fits the same amount, if not more, than even my medium or jumbo Chanel classic flaps, which is really saying something because you honestly don't think this bag would. It's so unassuming. And I also just love the ways that you can wear it. It is so versatile, and it also has really nice bag, I guess, like strap protectors for your shoulder, which just goes to show how much thought went into designing this bag. If you're looking for a bag that's quite similar to the classic flap, for example, I feel like this gives off the vibe without the price. And with that, we have finally reached the end of this handbag collection video. So let me know down below what your favorite bag was, and you know, if there's any other bag brands I should consider adding to my collection. I'm open to recommendations, even though I should probably downsize. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next one.